How's it going, everyone? My name is Cody Barbo. I'm the co-founder and CEO of TrustMill, the nation's leading estate planning platform. I'm here with Diana Cabrices, our chief evangelist at TrustMill, and over the last 6 months, she's been helping us with advocacy and expertise for the financial advisor community, helping them with estate planning conversations. So, Diana, really grateful for your time. Okay, so first question, what inspired you to dive into this chief evangelist role?
First things first, when I think about being inspired, I think about everything that Trust and Will is doing. I stepped into this role because I have been inspired by Trust and Will. You guys have this unwavering dedication to educating people on estate planning, your everyday person consumer, but also now into the space of financial advisors. I think there's a lot of opportunity there. And I think in business, everything is about timing. So right now you hear a lot about consumers wanting more estate planning help from their financial advisors. There's a lot of data that shows that they want more help, but you don't see enough advisors stepping up yet into that role. And so I think this is a great time to personally step into this role as chief evangelist, really chief educator, to help advisors meet that demand.
Next question. What is a unique value you believe TrustMill brings to the estate planning and wealth management space?
When I look at estate planning solutions in the space and I try to find what differentiates Trust and Will, there's a lot to be said here. First things first, I think it's incredible that we offer such a flexible pricing model. So you have opportunities for advisors who really want to get integrated into the process and integrate estate planning into their business and even take on the financial onus of estate planning for their clients. You have advisors who don't want to get that involved, but they still want to have some sort of connection, some sort of pathway to offer to their clients and their prospects. Trust and Will fits both of those. You don't see a lot of tools that offer sort of both sides that flexibility. But also, I think what we're doing to elevate the voice of the advisor helps Trust and Will stand out so much. Peer-to-peer learning, in my opinion, nothing beats it. And so we've launched this contributor panel of expert advisors, and advisors want to hear and learn from advisors. So I think beyond that, one of the last things I'll say here is Trust and Will has an incredible brand energy. People often see us on TV or at sporting events. And what happens there, Cody, is clients of financial advisors, they start to know and trust the brand. And so by the time the advisor even introduces the relationship with Trust and Will and implements that service, there's already a bit of trust built up. So there's a lot of different reasons here that help Trust and Will stand out. But overall, it's the energy, it's the brand, it's the flexibility, and it's the amplification of the advisor's voice.
Yeah, you're making me smile because I had, even over the weekend on LinkedIn, a gal that I went to college with, she reached out. That's her financial advisor actually encouraged her and her husband to set up an estate plan with us. And I think back to like the inception of when we launched Advisors over 4 years ago. We have like a handful we started the company in San Diego. We had advisors that were reaching out because they saw us in the local business journal, or they maybe knew us from just being out and about. We were an in-person team at the time. We were always in the business community. And at the time, they were asking for checklists and for any like collateral that we could send out. It really is what inspired us to build the platform going into early 2020, which is just crazy now to think. We have over 17,000 advisors that have signed up for this tool at large broker-dealers, RAs. And in the process, a lot of these advisors have set up estate plans themselves for their own families. And I feel like that has been the ultimate buy-in for them to want to recommend this to their clients, to their colleagues, to people in their community, is that they didn't have it themselves. And we have data, we've done a study now that kind of backs that up. I think 25% of advisors know estate plans. So hopefully we'll improve that over time. Okay, next question. You've worked with advisors for years. What propelled you to work with them more hands-on to implement estate planning into their practice?
Well, you just made a good point about that study and how 1/4 of advisors don't have an estate plan themselves. So when I realized that, I thought, gosh, even more opportunity here to like step in and help advisors. How can we ask them to offer estate planning to their clients when they haven't even gone through the process themselves using technology? So I think that's point number one. It's also a really great marketing opportunity. So most people know me as like an advisor, marketing educator. I'm really passionate about marketing. Well, great marketing is driven by services that are in demand. That is what you should put on the front lines of your brand, of your business, of your website page. And that right now is absolutely estate planning. It's at least one of the more in-demand services that consumers want from their advisors. So I'm here to support advisors in positioning and how to really put that on the front lines of their business. And I just think between those two things, there's a ton of opportunity and I'm really excited about it.
How does your role as chief evangelist for TrustMill support financial advisors confidently integrating estate planning into their practice? What excites you the most about this work?
Yeah, so right now, advisors need a guiding light. My goal is to be that person, but not just share what my perspective is, but also elevating the voices of other advisors. I just interviewed an advisor today. We went 70 minutes on a live webinar, and we had so many questions because other advisors will want to know, how did he implement his, trust and will subscription model, and what does that process look like with his clients and with his prospects? I also think there's some perceived barriers that advisors have with estate planning, like time or just the complexity, or, hey, I'm not really an expert. And so again, going back to education, it's so important right now. That is the role of the chief evangelist, right? My job here is to come in, host educational webinars, bring in the voice of other advisors, create easily digestible videos, if you will, something that you can just tune into really quickly, get a tip to implement estate planning and move along about your day. So many different ways, but truthfully, that's going to be a lot of what we focus on, is getting in person with advisors, but also doing things virtually so they can tune in and they can learn.
I love it. I love my title as CVO, but you're making me like super hyped up, and I'm kind of jealous and envious that you're our chief evangelist, because it's like every day there's an opportunity here to get in front of good people who have families and have clients that have families, and it's conversation. It's human conversations with estate planning at kind of the backbone of it. So I love it. I know I've been asked a lot of questions. I think you have a question for me. What's up?
I do. Okay. And I've talked to you before, Cody, and I think you're such an inspiring person. So I'm curious how you see the estate planning space evolving in the next, let's call it 5 years. And how do you think Trust and Will is positioned to lead that change?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, we're 7 years in. We've helped hundreds of thousands of families. Even though we're primarily talking about the advisor channel today, our huge go-to-market is still direct-to-consumer. We advertise TV nationally. We've got 150 marquee partnerships working with 15 of the top 25 banks, hundreds of credit unions. We work with employers as a benefit, and we kind of just slice and dice TrustMill in as many ways as we can to extend our reach. There's kind of a couple goals that we had in mind starting the company that I think will still be true over the next 5 years. The first is, like, nobody had built a brand in this category. And I feel like I'm biased as I say this. We've built the brand. We will continue to build the brand so large that it would be as common as people knowing what a TurboTax is. They'll think of a Trust and Mo when it comes to estate planning. That's goal number one. Number two is just eliminating all the myths that you have to be wealthy. People do this when they're older. They do it because they inherited something. No, people do this because they have life, like life events, marriage, kids, death, divorce, a diagnosis, liquidity, you move states, everything happy and sad in between. And we want to be with people over the course of their lifetime. So when I think of like predictions for where this is, like the default of the industry is headed online. And the default of the industry has historically just been offline. People have copies of their estate plan in their closet or in a box somewhere where they forgot where it is altogether. I think this is kind of the evolution we saw with financial plans. It used to be a physical plan that your advisor would give you. It's like almost the default is online now. I don't know. Hopefully nobody has a physical copy of their financial plan. It's all web-based, app-based. It's the same evolution that we're going to see in estate planning. The thing that it's probably the talk of the town for the last year now, but it's on every headline. It's at every conference. Like AI. I think that it's great from like a value add to end user as a co-pilot tool to professionals like advisors. It makes sense. My hope is that it becomes so core to the tech stack, we don't have to flash AI everywhere. I have a 4-year-old something EIEIO. It's AI, the same context. But this idea, like, this technology is unbelievable in what it's doing for companies like Trust and Will. We use a lot of AI today. We're less marketing it, I guess, so to say, but it's just kind of core to the tech stack. And it's going to allow for people to live their life and not have to remember to update their estate plans. As life is happening, you buy a new house, you have another child, you lose someone in your life, you go through a divorce. Again, happy stat events. Trust and Will or a platform like ours will be there to help families navigate these updates in real time and just always be that accountability partner throughout the journey. So I'm really bullish on where the industry's headed. I hope in 5 years from now, we're ringing the bell, taking this company public, or we've already done so. But it's been an honor of my career, and we got almost 100 people working here at Trust and Will, yourself included, and it's just making us a great experience. So very grateful.
Well, I love your confidence, and it's super validated, and I think we're headed for the moon and beyond. So thank you, Cody, for letting me be part of your mission.
Oh, my pleasure.